Am I the a-hole for not being willing to split my daughter's education fund with my stepson? My daughter, 15 female, has a 529 that my ex-husband and I set up and have been paying into. She has about $73K in there for her college. My ex-husband and I broke up amicably, so we still have been contributing jointly. My current husband and I started dating 6 years ago and got married 3 years ago. His son, 18 male, is attending college this fall and is paying out of pocket. His ex-wife and him apparently didn't save anything for his son, and so he has to take out loans. He brought up the idea of splitting my daughter's college fund with his son because she is a few years from needing it, so he thought I could take out half of what I put in to give to him. I told him I've been paying for my daughter way longer than we've been together, and she knows there's money set aside for her schooling, and no one is entitled to it but her. He laughed it off and accused me of being too serious. Last night, though, he brought it up again and got more demanding, saying his son is going to be stuck with a ton of debt, and says I've known him since he was 12, so I have an obligation to help. I told him he has to help his son, but I never agreed to help his son pay for college, especially not through my daughter's fund. He got angry and accused me of not loving his son, otherwise I would be sharing the college fund, and drove off. He came back after a few hours and apologized, and then this afternoon after work brought up me helping his son with college again, which I shot down and he got angry at me for again. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. His son isn't entitled to the fund that you and your ex-husband is funding. Your ex-husband isn't doing that for him. He's doing it for his daughter. He could ask you to currently help his son out, but even then, if you say no, it's not fair for him to get mad. I think Opie's ex would be hugely angry. Erupting like Vesuvius, if the money he contributed to their daughter's college fund was diverted to some rando kid he's not related to. Opie should tell hubby that he needs to go talk to her ex to give up half of that money and to let her know how that works out. Oh no, I would not tell husband to talk to the ex and giving up half of the money. That is tantamount to Opie saying she's amenable to it. Not a good idea. I think the point would be to underscore for Opie's husband that she can't take money from her daughter to give to her stepson. That what Opie's husband is asking for isn't just immoral, but illegal. Not the a-hole. Why in the world didn't he bring this up 3 years ago when you and he got married? And has he been contributing to your daughter's college fund? Did he ever even offer? If not, then he clearly intended to leave the funding for education to you and her father, and should have expected to pay for his own kid's education with the help of his son's mother. Because he didn't know about it until 2 years ago. Okay, so 2 years ago, has he been giving money to your daughter's college fund? Haha, nope. Next story. Am I the a-hole for taking my wife's side after she screamed and cursed at my mother? This just happened and my wife is currently sleeping while my mom is blowing up my phone. I, 33 male, am married to my wonderful wife, Melody, 29 female, and she's currently pregnant with our first child together. I have a 6-year-old daughter, Tina, whose mother and I split 50-50 custody with, so I know for the most part what Melody needs in order to feel supported while she carries our child. I have been spending lots of time making sure she's comfortable and taking on more of the load at home so she's not doing too much. This is her first child after all, and is obviously a lot for her physically and emotionally. My mother and Melody don't get along too well. Mom didn't like my ex either. We broke up because we were headed on different paths, not because of my mother. And there's no bad blood, so I think she just doesn't like her because she's dating me for whatever reason. It's weird. She's very nitpicky about Melody, how much she does around the house, how emotional she is. Melody already cries very easily, and being pregnant has made her even more sensitive, which is fine. And the fact that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom. It just seems like nothing Melody does is okay. I do, however, stand up for her and do not just allow my mom to talk down to her. Today, before picking up my daughter from summer camp, Melody went to 3 different grocery stores to find rotisserie chicken. She's been talking about it since last night and really wanted one. Lol. She sent me picture messages documenting her quest for the chicken and finally found it. My girl was happy. Rotisserie chicken is also kind of a comfort food for her like spaghetti, because her mom used to make one of those when she was having a lazy day and didn't feel like cooking. She was planning on serving that with some other basic sides for dinner. Perfectly fine by me. My mother came by to see Tina and started telling Melody the chicken is bad for her and she should not be eating that pregnant. Melody said it's fine. She usually eats healthy and just wants this one thing she's craving. My mom went on about how unhealthy it was and said she needs to eat something else. Melody said no and went to the backyard to FaceTime her family out of state. When she came back, my mom had thrown out the food and ordered takeout, a salad for Melody and pizza for everyone else. Melody asked where the chicken was, and my mother told her she needs to start being a responsible mother and eat correctly for the baby. Melody screamed, "What the heck is wrong with you? Why are you always such a witch to me?" She then started crying and called me home. I came back and asked my mother to leave after hearing her story, and said she's not to come back until she apologizes for how she treated Melody. My mom went on about how I'm choosing another woman over her, but I just think enough is enough, and Melody reached her limit. She apologized to me for blowing up when Tina was in the house, but I told her it's okay. Stuff happened. Tina's okay. And I went to find her another chicken before the store closed. My dad thinks I'm right for taking Melody's side, but my brother thinks I should always defend mom. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Glad you went on a hunt for a chicken to replace the one your mother trashed. Great husbanding on your rando P. What the heck is wrong with your mom though? I couldn't let her 3-store quest be for nothing. She was dying for that chicken. I have no clue what's up with my mom. I want her to be able to be in my children's lives, but we need some serious boundary work. I don't know what to do, dude. It sucks, but consequences. The faster you enact consequences and make her understand you're serious, the sooner she will probably realize you're serious and start respecting you as an adult. I see so many posts from people who pussyfoots around actually enacting boundaries and consequences, and they ruin their marriages because a person can only take so much. The sooner you show you're a grown man and always support your wife, the sooner your mother will understand her role. Hopefully anyways. Not the a-hole, but your mom sure is. As a former pregnant woman, if my mother-in-law would have thrown away food I was craving and ordered me a salad instead, I would have thrown her on a rotisserie and spun her around until she apologized. I just showed this comment to Melody and she couldn't stop laughing. Thank you for making her night. Haha. Not the a-hole. As far as I know, there's nothing dangerous about eating cooked chicken during pregnancy. She claims all the seasoning and grease from the way rotisserie chicken is made isn't healthy. I don't know how true that is, but Melody's so healthy, and was even before the baby. She works out consistently and eats really well, unless she wants a treat, which I think is healthy. I wouldn't want her overdoing healthy eating or exercise anyway, pregnant or not. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for taking in my niece despite my husband's complaints even though we are child-free? 25 female and 27 male. Niece is 3 years old. My sister asked me if we would take her daughter since she had to go out of town for a surgical procedure and wouldn't be able to care for her daughter while she recovers. I ran this by my husband, who immediately said no and shook his head. I said it was my niece, and that just because we weren't really fans of having kids ourselves doesn't mean we can't do a favor for family. It ended in an argument, but I ended up taking her anyways. He refuses to do anything with her. This isn't the first time they've met. He just never really interacted with her, which I don't expect him to. But when I brought up that he could have a better attitude about this, he just said that I shouldn't have brought a kid into our home. He also went on a rant that because of this, I'm probably going to change my mind about having kids, and he won't put up with that. Said like that he will divorce me if I even suggest it. My niece hasn't even been much of a problem. In fact, she's usually quiet unless she's hungry or tired. Yes, she gets into stuff and makes messes, but I assume that's pretty standard toddler behavior. I don't understand why he's so angry, since it's not like he's having to do anything. Edit, I should add that she'll only be here for about a week and a half, maybe longer if my sister has complications, but we don't know yet. Also, I told him he should have a better attitude towards her because I read that kids can tell when you don't like them, and being away from her mom is already hard enough for her. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. People are saying you're the a-hole because he said no and that should be a mutual decision. And I would normally agree, but I'd be pretty upset for my partner telling me that I can't help out my sister in a tough situation like that. It is not like it's permanent. For no real reason apart from him not liking kids. This isn't a social visit. It's a family emergency. Maybe not urgent, but still vulnerable. And then the comments about divorcing at the mention of wanting kids? That's a big leap. Shows where his head is at. Spoiler, not focused on sister's surgery and well-being of a niece. And just a pretty a-hole thing to say in general. This is at least and everyone sucks here, but personally I'd say not the a-hole. Exactly, all of this. I am child-free myself, but when my best friend donated a kidney to his wife, I was ready to be with their kid for 2 months if need be while they recover. Thankfully, I didn't need to watch the kid for 2 months because his father-in-law flew out to the US to be with them. But I was ready to do so if needed, no matter how I feel about having children. That's what you do for family, chosen or not. It's his family too, and he should have never said no. He should care enough to sacrifice his freedom for a couple weeks. The sister wouldn't have asked if she had better options, I assume. Not the whole. Reddit just loves these adamantly child-free types and act like the existence of any child in the immediate vicinity is some kind of personal affront to their autonomy and personhood. OP, for Pete's sake, it's 10 days at the most. He can get over himself. God forbid this isn't just the first warning sign of a long life with this guy, growing gradually more hateful about children over time. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. I'm surprised some people are voting you the a-hole here. Opie did a favor for her sister, who is having a complicated surgery. I'm sure the sister tried finding other means of childcare. This is what family does for one another. Doesn't mean she's entitled to it, but Opie has the empathy to do so, which Opie's husband is seriously lacking. Some people think that if someone declares themselves child-free, they must not be asked to touch or be in the presence of any children ever again. And because they are child-free, they should never be asked to even watch a child for 5 minutes, or else they'll be cursed with being a parent or something. It is weird. Opie's not a-hole. At first, the headline made me assume like she's taking the niece in permanently. But a week? That's just doing your sister and niece a huge favor, and something people with good relationships do. It isn't like she dropped her off on your doorsteps. I'd rather take care of a 3-year-old than a newborn or a baby. I saw one on here once that was like, am I the a-hole for not watching my sister's kid while she took a shower since I'm child-free? Like, yeah, you're the a-hole. Lol, some of these people act like being in the mere presence of a child somehow makes them no longer child-free. Now, for the last story, am I the a-hole for telling my mother it's my house, not hers? So, I just bought my first house. It's a small log cabin-style house made out of old cypress logs and oak. It's my dream house, and I absolutely love it. I started moving my stuff in, and once I finished, my mom and dad came over to help me unpack everything and decorate. Now, I always loved going to state parks and going into the small natural museums they have. I wanted my home to pay homage to my natural area, which is mainly bayous and rivers. So, I have driftwoods and pelts from different native animals as well as mounted native fish, and it looks like a museum inside. I have arrowheads and other things I've found from old native tribes in our area, and I love the feel and vibe of the home. I also like to make wine, and so a good portion of my house is also dedicated to wine and other spirits. My mother, however, doesn't like that my house is basically all brown on the inside with very little color. She is an artist, and so doesn't like how it's so bland. While they were helping me set everything up, she kept moving things around that I would set up and says it looks better this way. But to me it didn't. After the first few times I was getting annoyed because she kept doing it, even though I'd say I liked it the way it was. Finally came for my centerpiece of my house to go in, and she refused to help me put it up because to her it didn't look right. I finally snapped and said, "Mom, this is my house, not yours. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. What matters is that I like it as it's my house, not yours." When I said that, she started crying and left my house with my dad. She called me saying that she was only trying to help and give me a woman's perspective, and she didn't feel a woman would be comfortable there. She said I was acting like an a-hole while she was only trying to help. I said I appreciate her efforts, but I want my house to be comfortable for me, not to accommodate others. At that, she hung up and said she wouldn't help me with my house until I see reason. It's been a few days since we spoke, and I'm wondering if maybe she is right and I was an a-hole when she was just trying to help. So, am I the a-hole here? Not the a-hole. It's your house, not hers. You have to be comfortable there. She wanted it to be an extension of her, like she sees you. Enjoy your home and live your life. Oh hell no, not the a-hole. Your mom is amusingly controlling here. If and when you have a serious relationship, that woman can negotiate decoration style with you. Until then, it's a bachelor pad. Congrats, Opie. That's what I was thinking as well. I really do appreciate her helping and giving me advice, but I don't know why she kept saying that women won't feel comfortable there. Like, it's not like I have dead animals and taxidermy everywhere in my house. It's just a few pelts and mounted fish that I bought. I didn't kill or tan those hides. Plus, after I completely moved in, I walked inside for the first time with the house being full and I felt like I was in a museum. And I smiled to myself because that's exactly what I wanted. It's just a museum that I don't have to travel to see or pay a fee to tour. It's my actual house. But back to my mother, this is the longest she has gone without talking to me. And my dad said she is still sore about me snapping at her. My dad said he loves my house and that my great-grandfather would have loved it too. We were both really close to him. To me, that reinforced what I believe, as that made me feel good just to have support, you know? Edit/update. I'm very surprised by how many of the comments are from women saying they would love the house. One nice lady even said it gives me +3 attractiveness, which is the best compliment I've gotten in a while, so thanks for that, ma'am. I called my mother and stood my ground but did apologize for the tone. She said that with me buying a house and moving all within a 3-week period was just a lot, and that she just wanted to be a part of my house. I guess what she meant was that she's sad to see me go and wanted a small piece of my house for her. Even though I didn't like hearing that, but I guess I kinda understand. My dad just said, "Son, at least you don't have to live with her anymore," which did make me laugh, and a little sad for the old man, but that is his ball of wax to deal with now. I told them both I loved them and thanked them for helping me move in and get comfy. I appreciate everyone who has commented. I'll leave the post open but most likely won't be responding as I've gotten my answer from Reddit, and I have remedied the situation like an adult. Y'all have a lovely day/night wherever you might reside, and again, thank you all so very much.